Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do like a mini get ready with me. So first I started off with my face wash, which I will put a picture of right here, and put my brownie. I got this for my birthday. I love it, and it keeps all the hair out of my face. Okay, and then I'm gonna use this. I've only been using this for like a few days, but I feel like I already see a difference because I was hella breaking out, and now I only have like a few little, what's it? So yeah, this was a birthday gift from my fiance's grandma. I don't know what that makes her to me, because I know it doesn't make her my grandma. But start by putting this. Alright. Next, I'm going to get my chapstick. Also, don't mind Miss Rachel. My daughter is getting a little sick of Mickey Mouse, so we are watching Miss Rachel. Well, she is. I'm getting ready, and she's just chilling, watching me and watching me. Hi, baby. Hi. She's so cute. I love her. What are you doing? Why are you throwing stuff? And I got this for my mom's for my birthday, as well as beauty blender. I already used it a few times, that's why it looks like that. But I have a cup of water here, so I could make this moistened, mainly because I didn't want to have to get up and have to go do that, because I forgot to do it a while ago, and then I was like, I'll just go get a cup of water, because then I could just reuse the cup when I need it. Alright. That. And squeeze all the water out. Do you guys hear her laughing in the background? Cutest little baby ever. Alright. Oh, and the chapstick I used is this one that they gave me at the hospital. You know what? I'm gonna do a story time while I do this. So, June, I want to say 1st or 2nd. It was that weekend, right before the 4th of July. We went over to my in-laws' house to do a yard sale, and we were hanging out there, and my mother and my father-in-law weren't feeling the best, but my mother-in-law was like, it just feels like allergies, and I've been there a million times, like, where I feel like it's allergies, because that's all it feels like, you know, you don't feel sick, you just feel like allergy symptoms. And then my father-in-law wasn't feeling good, so he was staying away from us. And then halfway through the yard sale, he took a COVID test, and it came back positive. So from there, I kind of assumed that she would have also been positive, because I don't know how. I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe there was a chance she wasn't, but I kind of just assumed that she did at that point, because how could you be that close to somebody and not get COVID? I'll go into that in a second, because there is a way you could. And so yeah, so that happened, and then I was like, well, damn, we've all been exposed now. So I like the, okay, so then on July 3rd, we took my daughter to the hospital because she started having fevers and stuff. And we took her to the hospital because she had like 103 fever, and I was worried. So we took her, and basically they told us that, yep, she has COVID. And then after telling us that she had COVID, they basically said, well, we're gonna send you home. Her fever broke after giving her some Tylenol. Like, she should be fine. Just bring her back if she seems like she's having trouble breathing, or if something else new starts happening, like she gets a new symptom that she doesn't have yet. So that's what we did. We went home and we took care of her here at the house, and then she got better, and I kept testing, and so did my boyfriend, or not my boyfriend, my fiance. So did my fiance, and we both kept coming back negative, and I knew I was gonna get it because I'm with her all day long. Like, while he's at work, I'm the one who's taking care of her, holding her, getting her to, like, having her cough on me and everything. So I knew it was just a matter of time until my test also came back positive. And I was right. So like I said, I was testing every day, and then I started to not feel good around like the 5th. I think, yeah, like the 5th. I started to not feel really great. Well, I already wasn't feeling great. Like, by the start of the 5th, I wasn't feeling good. So I was like, it has to be COVID. Like, I don't know what else it would be. And if it is something else, then that sucks, because, I mean, regardless, the situation sucked, but I was like, it's gonna suck even worse, because then if I have something different, my daughter has a good chance of getting whatever I got, and then it's just really gonna suck, because we're all gonna be super, super sick. Because she was not. She was like, you could tell she didn't feel good. Like, I have pictures in that, and her eyes are like that. And she's like smiling. Like, and she would nap a lot. And then she would get really high fevers of like 103.6 was the highest one. But she started to get better around the time that I wasn't feeling good. I mean, she stayed sick for a while, which is understandable. But, so by the 5th, I started feeling like crap. I took a test, and it was negative. And then on the 6th, I woke up in the morning, and there wasn't even like kind of a line. But on the 6th, I woke up, and it was like a dark line. And I was like, well, I got COVID. And then my fiance was like, oh, it's better time till I get it too. Funny story, he never got it. That's why I said I'd come back to that, because he lives with us, everything, and he didn't get it. He holds her just as much as I do. Well, when he's home, of course, not when he's at work. And he didn't get it. So, yes, you can live with somebody and not get COVID. How he didn't get it, I don't know, but he didn't. And so, that happened. And then when was it? It was like, so I called my OB to let them know as soon as I found out that I had COVID, because that makes me, I mean, I was already a high risk pregnancy, but you know, that makes me like an even higher risk or whatever. So I called them so I could let them know. And yeah, so I called them, let them know, and the OB told me that they have this thing that they recommend for pregnant women, keeps them out of the hospital, called Paxlodone or I don't know, something like that. And she highly recommends it. She's recommended it to her own family and everything. And she's like, there's like a 2% chance you'll get rebound COVID. And she's like, but those chances are so slim. Like, that's not going to happen. But it'll keep you out of the hospital. So this will be good for you. So I was like, cool. Keeps me out of the hospital. Keeps my baby good. Keeps me from having to be away from my sick daughter. So, yeah, I'll take it. So I took it, and let's just say I wasn't feeling good, but I didn't feel the worst. Like, it felt like a regular cold. So it did help get rid of my symptoms. But the last day of me taking it, because you take it for 5 days, you take 6 pills a day. And my last day of taking it, I finished the pack, and then I started feeling like shit. Like, so bad. I felt the worst I've ever felt. And then I started having trouble breathing. And I noticed that because that night, I woke up in the middle of the night feeling like I was being suffocated. And I have an inhaler, so I used that, and it wasn't really helping. And I told my fiance, I was like, I cannot do that again. Like, I thought I was going to die last night. I genuinely did. Like, I could not breathe. And so I told him, I was like, okay, I think maybe it's best I go to the hospital. Because if it is something serious, you know, like I'm pregnant, we need to know. Because I don't want to risk losing this baby because I'm stubborn and don't want to go to the hospital. So I had called the OB, all the extra powder. So I called the OB, and basically, sorry, I got powder everywhere. It went everywhere, so I'm just going to dust it off real quick. When I say everywhere, I mean it's on all my other makeup stuff, all over the desk, all over my makeup palette. So I called the OB, and I let them know that I was having trouble breathing. And then they said, okay, well, if you're having trouble breathing, come into the ER, because that's important since you're pregnant. We need to make sure there's nothing wrong. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the ER, and I left her with my fiance. Went to the ER, and moral of the story, I stayed waiting forever, and I had told the doctor, whatever, when they came in, that I was having trouble breathing. And the other thing they had told me that I don't think I mentioned is they told me to let them know, 1, that I'm pregnant, and 2, like, that I had tested positive for COVID. So, and then, I don't know if it was the same visit or the second visit I went in, but they had also wanted them to check me for pneumonia, because when I had called them and told them that I think I was getting rebound COVID, because I called them when I was starting to feel worse before I had trouble breathing, and they told me, what did they tell me? Hold on. Okay, yeah, so I had called in to talk to the doctor and after I finished the Paxlovid, and told them, I don't feel good again. Like, I feel worse now that I finished it. And they're like, oh, it's probably rebound COVID. You should be fine though. So I was like, cool. So that whole day, I sounded like fine. Like, you could tell I was sick, and you could tell I was sick the whole time, even when I had called them to tell them I had COVID. Like, my throat sounded kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but you could tell I was sick. And then by the next morning, when I had called because I had trouble breathing that night, I sounded like 50 times worse. Like, I could barely talk. Like, you could tell I wasn't getting much air through when I was trying to talk. I might have a video, and if I do, I'll put in a video right here. So, little update. This morning, the 12th. Oh, that's the other thing. So, on top of saying I wasn't using my inhaler right, and that's why it wasn't helping me, the guy was also like, also, you have to keep in mind you have a baby the size of a bowling ball pushing on your lungs. Like, bro, the baby's the size of a freaking banana, and it's lower than my belly button. How the hell would it be in my ribs? So, if I do, that is what I sounded like. And if not, then I don't know how to explain it. There probably is a video. But, so they told me, you sound awful. You might have COVID pneumonia. You need to go into the ER. Not only because you're having trouble breathing, but to tell them, like, let them know that we said to check you for pneumonia. So when I had tested positive, I was 19 weeks. And then when I went into the hospital, I was already 20 weeks. So they basically, I waited forever. And then I got seen, and the doctor did an EKG and did the little finger pulmonary, whatever. And that's all they did. They didn't check for nothing. They blew off everything I said and was like, nah, you're fine. You're fine. Your breathing levels are better than mine, and I'm not even pregnant. I don't remember what that doctor's name is, and even if I did, I wouldn't say because I think I'd get in trouble. But I don't think I would get in trouble for just saying what happened with that doctor. So that doctor basically, like I said, blew off everything I said my breathing was fine because of whatever, and that, well, because I was like, I've been using my inhaler a lot, and I don't use my inhaler a lot. And the doctor told me, if the inhaler's not helping, you're not using it right. Like, basically saying that I'm a good example of people that don't know how to use their inhaler right, and that's the only way it wouldn't help me. And I thought that was some BS, because I was like, alright, so anyone with breathing problems should be able to use an inhaler and it magically fix whatever is wrong with their lungs. Like, inhalers are made for like asthma and stuff, and I'm not a doctor, so maybe it is like that, but why wouldn't they prescribe inhalers to people who need oxygen then? Like, the inhaler should help if you're using it right, so you shouldn't need oxygen. Like, stupid. Anyways, I was really upset because they sent me home after just doing that stuff, and they didn't help me. And then that next night, again, could not breathe. Had a really hard time that night. And I was annoyed that doctor just kind of blew it off. And then I had called the OB, and then I sounded even worse that next day. So she was like, yeah, you need to go back and whatever. And I was like, I don't want to go back. Like, I spent all that time in the waiting room for him to basically tell me it's nothing, and that if I'm using my inhaler, and I explained everything to her, and she was like, that's some BS. I'm gonna talk to your other doctor, because I see my OB and I see my ultrasound doctor, because I'm high risk already before COVID. And basically she talked to her, and they were gonna try to find a way to admit me so that way they could do the tests, since the ER doctor was being like, whatever. And so they're like, we need you to go back in because you're having trouble breathing. We need to make sure it's not pneumonia. If it is pneumonia, basically you could lose your baby. And so I went into the ER again, and I stayed waiting. So I got there at like, I want to say like, well, no. Okay, so I was like, I'll go to urgent care. So I went to urgent care, and I had taken my daughter too, because at that point she started feeling better. But she kept like pulling at her ears, and she had a cough, so I was concerned about the cough because she had COVID. So they checked her and basically found out that she has pink eye. No, she had pink eye while she had COVID. Okay, so she's done with pink eye by this point, because I'd already given her the medicine that I had told the doctor. Okay, so they found out she had an ear infection, and that she had... Babe, what else did she have? Strep throat. Thank you, babe. So in 2 weeks, she had pink eye, COVID, and then when she got over those, she got an ear infection and she got strep throat. which they said is common in infants to get stuff like that after they have COVID, which I didn't know. So kind of interesting to know. And so yeah, so that basically is what happened. And then they saw me because my appointment was right after hers, and they said that, again, they did like the pulmonary thing and whatever, and they said I sound good. They felt like my calves, and I don't know what they were looking for. I had asked another doctor, and they said that it was probably swelling. They're looking for swelling because arteries, something about your arteries swelling, or I don't know, something. They're looking for swelling basically. And she said that, okay, well, you don't have pneumonia. I don't think you have pneumonia. The only way to know for sure would be to get an x-ray, but I can't do that, and I can't say anything until you talk to your OB, because I'm not specialized with babies, like pregnant women and all that. So I don't want to say something or prescribe you something or do whatever and then it have negative effects. So you just need to talk to your OB. So she's like, you want to call them and probably get an x-ray to find out if it is pneumonia, because we don't have the equipment here to do that. You'll have to go to the hospital and do that. So moral of the story, I ended up having to go into the ER at the hospital again, and I got there at like 12, and I was not seen until 7 o'clock at night. And then I was even more upset because I hadn't eaten before I went, because I just didn't, because I thought they would have like a snack machine or something, and I wasn't hungry before I went. So I stayed waiting, and then I had asked them if I could eat, and they said not until the doctor sees you. So my first meal of the day was at 7 o'clock at night, and a little bit before 7, because I ended up having my fiance bring me some food. Did I? No, wait. I don't know, I've been to the ER so many times now. And no, I didn't. They were gonna bring me food, my fiance and them were gonna bring me food, but then they finally called me back, and then I was like, okay, cool, so I'm gonna be seen. So then when they did finally see me and they got me a room or whatever, I had asked the lady as soon as they took me into a room if I could have something to eat, and she's like, yeah, sounds good, I'll go get you a sandwich. So I had me a sandwich, and then she after she gave me the sandwich, I finished eating it. She brought me a little bottled water too. So I had my sandwich, I had my water, and then I waited like maybe 15 minutes in that room. And then she walked in with a wheelchair, and she's like, so you're 20 weeks or farther along, so the doctor here actually can't see you, so we have to take you straight up to labor and delivery and triage, whatever. They'll see you up there, because we're not specialized with, again, pregnancy and all that. So at that point, I was pissed off because I could have been seen hours before, because they couldn't see me down in the ER. That's what I was waiting for, was to be seen in the ER where they had rooms. They had open rooms up in labor and delivery, and that's the doctor I needed to wait to see. So they could have seen me way earlier. So I was really, I was so annoyed with that, because I hadn't eaten, I was hungry, I was struggling to breathe, I was not feeling good, and I spent all day sitting in the waiting room just to find out that if they would have talked to the right people, they would have known to take me straight up there and not to make me wait in the waiting room for hours and hours and hours. And everyone was like, I'm so sorry, you should have just been brought up here, like, that was our bad. And I'm not mad at those doctors, because I blame, like, the miscommunication in general. So I went and they took me up to triage, and then they told the triage person, told the person who pushed me up in the wheelchair that they were going to see me in labor and delivery, to roll me over, that they have a room available. So they had a room all set up for me by the time I got up there. And does she need a diaper? Thank you, baby. So I'm blending this out with my fingers.
Where is she?
She's funny.
Where are you? Where's the baby?
And that does not look evenly blended at all. I feel like that's as good as it's gonna get. This side still looks darker, but it's fine. Whatever. So
there she is.
Yeah, so I got seen by a nurse and all that, and they got me all set up. They did basically this time when I had went in, I was ready to tell them what I needed exactly. And originally the reason they didn't straight up admit me was because they had talked about it, and they're like, oh well, we can't admit you because we don't have whatever powers out of the labor and delivery area. You need to be seen like in the hospital area, but they didn't have the power to admit me, whatever there. So they I ended up seeing the in-house on-call doctor, like the one that would be in the general hospital, but they kept me in the labor and delivery in case I needed to see the OB, because that's where the OB could go and see me.
Baby, I love you.
Okay, baby, I love you too. So yeah. So I got into the room, and I was kind of like, this is, first of all, at first I thought it was kind of cool that I was in the labor and delivery room, like where I had my daughter. Not in the same room, but those rooms are so pretty. They have like a nice view outside, and they're spacious because they're meant for you to be having a baby. So they're like decent size, and they have like 2 couches and the bed, and then a bathroom like with a deep tub and all that. Okay, so yeah, so I had gotten in the room, and at first, like I said, I thought it was cool until I got seen by the doctor and everything, and like I said, it was already late. I was more than excited once I saw the doctor, because once I saw the doctor, they let me get food. I got to order some food off the menu, and I was starving, so I was hyped because I finally got to eat at that point. But so I had waited a little bit, not too long, to see the doctor. Since they had made me wait so long, the doctor came in really quickly to come and see me. And basically they did like some blood work, and they did blood work, they had me pee in a cup, all that fun stuff, and then they got me all set up, pillows, whatever. They didn't ever start an IV, but they did all that stuff, and then the doctor came in, and I talked to the doctor. The doctor listened to my lungs, everything. He's like, sounds good. Your pulmonary thing says good. You shouldn't be having breathing problems though, so I'm kind of annoyed he was also annoyed after I told him what the other doctor said. He was like, but he doesn't know, like he wouldn't know. And for pneumonia, like that's important that you catch that. So the fact that he just blew it off, like he's like, with COVID, you could have something seriously wrong with your lungs and it not show on an EKG or on the pulmonary thing. The only way to know would be an x-ray. He's like, so kind of annoyed that he kind of blew that whole thing off, because, you know, that's not cool. Especially because you don't know. Your EKG could be fine, and you could have something seriously wrong in your lungs with COVID. So he was like, well, the problem here is we can't do an x-ray because you're pregnant. So safely we can't do one. Because I don't want to hurt the baby. So I don't recommend doing an x-ray, but that would be the only way to find out if you have pneumonia or if you have something wrong with your lungs. So we made a whole game plan of what we're gonna do or try out first. So I told him about like the nebulizer to see if that would help, how the OB had said that might be worth trying. So they got a nebulizer, and I waited forever to get my first treatment of the nebulizer. But like I said, I was happy because I got to eat. So he saw me, he did whatever, he checked everything, and then I told him I also want to do the breathing test because, and I explained, so at my ultrasound doctor, they have like a breathing test, like, it's like, it has like a mouthpiece, and then it has like a little machine, and the tube goes through it, and so you put your hand on this side of the machine and it blocks that side of the hole, like to get like a baseline or something. I don't know what it's called. And then you uncover it and you blow out as hard and as long as you can to see what your breathing is at. And he's like, okay, I know what that is. So he's like, I'll order one of those, that way we could see how that goes. So when they did it, I have it right here. When they did it, this, for my age and all that stuff, is where my breathing should be to be good, in this little green area, which is like in like the 400s, or like it's from like 350 to 450. That's the good range. So then the yellow range is between 350 and 250, and then the red range is anything below 250 or 2 something. I don't know. 2 something. I can't see without my glasses. Long story short, they came in and did one of these little blowy tests on me before they did the nebulizer treatment. And guess what? I was way down here in the damn reds, like by the 100, 150. I was so low and I was in the reds of me not getting enough oxygen. But the EKG and everything said I was fine. So I must have been fine. Like, that's why that doctor got annoyed. And then after seeing that I was in the red range and that all that stuff, they did the nebulizer treatment. And basically they had told me that it would be up to me. This was before they did the breathing test though. They said that it'd be up to me on whether or not I wanted to stay the night, because if, let's say that the nebulizer treatment didn't work, they would have accessibility to give me oxygen, because I guess they don't prescribe oxygen unless you're old. Or, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but they don't prescribe oxygen, so I would have to stay in the hospital to get oxygen if the nebulizer didn't work out. So, they did my nebulizer treatment, and at that point I didn't know if I wanted to stay because I didn't want to be away from my baby at night. Like, I knew she'd be fine, but me personally, I didn't want to be, 1, by myself in that room all night, and 2, I didn't want to be away from her. And it sucked because I was being quarantined because I had COVID. So I was like all by myself, and everyone was treating me like I was an alien, because that's what it feels like. Like when you have COVID and you have to go to the hospital, it sucks because you're isolated in this room, and every time you see somebody or talk to somebody, they have like full body suits just to talk to you, even if it's from far away. So like, I get it, you know, because COVID could be dangerous for some people. Like you end up in the hospital, and then others it doesn't affect. Like when I got it when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was fine. I felt like I had a regular cold, and yeah, it lasted a while, but I never needed to be hospitalized. You know, like she was doing great, she was thriving, but yeah, people die from it. Not everybody, but people do die from it. And so we went and did the nebulizer treatment. So they came in around like 9 o'clock at night and finally did the nebulizer treatment. And at that point, keep in mind, I thought I could still choose to go home. So that's what I was planning on doing. And then they did my little breathing test, they did the nebulizer, and then the lady told me after we finished my nebulizer treatment, all right, your next treatment will be in another 3 hours, so around midnight. And I was like, so I am staying the night then, I have to stay the night. And she's like, yeah, the doctor said to do it every 3 hours. So I ended up having to stay the night in the hospital, which really sucked because one, First of all, I've never stayed in the hospital except to have a baby. I've never gotten to stay in like a regular hospital room, so I don't know what that's like. But it sucked being in labor and delivery because the bed that I had to sleep on was the kind that's meant for you to deliver a baby. So the bottom drops off. So the bed is like this, and that's like right where my back is. So that's how I had to sleep. And it sucked because then everyone else there is having babies on that floor. So all the extra pillows they have went to all the pregnant ladies who were having their babies. So I didn't get any extra pillows, and I didn't end up getting my maternity pillow, which sucked. I had my fiance pack me a bag so I could at least change and shower and all that, but the maternity pillow didn't end up getting packed, so that sucked. So I was super uncomfortable all night long. And then one of the treatments that they did, so they had done the midnight one, I stayed up to, and they did that one. They checked my breathing again, and I was still kind of low, but I was better than the first breathing test they did. I was still in the hundreds though. It wasn't like I jumped up. But so they did the second treatment, and then she's like, okay, get some sleep, I'll be back at 3 a.m. to do the next test. So she came back, or the next treatment. So she came back and we did that test, but that one I was so tired because I had like just fallen asleep. So she what she did was she just she did like the oxygen mask version, and she just put the mask on my face, or let me put the mask on my face, and then she let me like relax and sleep while I was doing that nebulizer or whatever. So that was cool because I got to sleep. I kind of got to sleep through it. I had to do the little breathing whatever before and after I did the test, because that's what I was doing to see if the nebulizer was even working. They would have me do the deep breath into the tube, and then they would give me the nebulizer, and then once the nebulizer treatment was done, they'd have me do it again. So they did that, and then then they had the what's it called? I'm sorry, pregnancy brain and trying to multitask is like really difficult for me lately. So I went through the whole night, and then I had my treatments in the morning. So the treatments in the morning were fun because the doctor who came in for my last two treatments is the same one who was agreeing with the ER doctor that I'm just not using the inhaler right. And he's like, what are you doing back here? Like, we told you that you were fine. Like, what brought you in this time? Because we showed you how to use your inhaler. We gave you the little breathing thing. You sound way worse, but what brought you back? Because we told you you're good. And at that point, I was like, well, clearly I wasn't good because they made me stay overnight. And then once he saw the little breathing test thing that I did, he was like, oh yeah, that was bad information we gave you. So we did my treatments or whatever, and then we ended up getting me a nebulizer to take home. So that day around like 3 o'clock, they had sent over my nebulizer, so my fiance got that. And then they had me wait again to see the doctor and let me get discharged or whatever, and then I had to get cleared by the OB and the regular doctor. So both cleared me, said to come back if I needed anything. So I went home that day, and they told me I needed to do the nebulizer once every night, or as needed every whatever, but I needed to do the whatever just at night, like for sure at night. But if I needed it throughout the day, obviously I could use it throughout the day. So I went home, got to see my baby, who I missed so much, even though it was less than 24 hours without her. And then, yeah, so I got home, I did my nebulizer treatments, and when they discharged me from the hospital, so when I was there, like I said, I was like down here, like at the 100. When I got discharged, I was on the line of red and yellow. And after the like 3rd day of me using the nebulizer, I got up to 250. I still have not hit this green part. Watch, I'm gonna do this test really quick. See, look, I just did it. I'm right there. I don't think it's gonna focus, but you could see I'm not even at 350. I'm like, that's the closest I've been to getting to the 350, and it's been like a month since I've been in the hospital. And the story time took a while because, one, I was busy taking care of myself and my daughter and making sure we all get better. And two, I have so many recorded videos that just need to be edited and posted, and I just haven't, because one, it takes a long time to edit, two, it takes a long time to upload, and three, most of the time I don't even get any views. So it's like, I do these more for myself though, more for myself than the views, because I don't have a lot of followers and I don't have a lot of views, which is fine. But that's basically the story time. Obviously, if I wouldn't have gotten better, they would have found out it was pneumonia, because that would have been the only way to know, is if I didn't get better, and then they would have had to try the medication. Because that, or I don't know, maybe they would have done the ultrasound, or not the ultrasound, maybe they would have done the x-ray, regardless if it was safe or not, if I didn't get better, because at that point, it's already dangerous. Like, better to be dangerous and have the right medicine than dangerous and just deal with it. So, what are you doing? So yeah, so that's my story time of us being sick, us being in the hospital, well, me being in the hospital, her going to the ER, us finding out about her having COVID, and now we're both doing good. And little baby in my belly is doing good too. Little baby is growing a week ahead. My due date is still remaining the same. But honestly, at this point, my due date doesn't even really matter, because from what I understood, since I got COVID again, because that's why I got, well, there's two reasons I got induced. One, because I got COVID with her. They said that they were going to induce me after I had COVID by 39 weeks. And then two, is I got a lot of the preeclampsia signs. I was starting to get preeclampsia. I didn't officially get it, they said, but I had like the smallest amount of protein in my urine, which is a sign of preeclampsia. I had high blood pressure, I was swollen, and yeah, those were basically my symptoms of preeclampsia, which I got, and they had to induce me because preeclampsia is dangerous. And so they told me that if I got COVID this time around, which I was really hoping I wasn't going to get COVID this time around, so I wouldn't have to be induced early, so I could just go to my due date, which they were already hesitant about because I had a C-section less than 18 months ago. So they were like, yeah, no, that's not a good idea. You have a better chance of your incision bursting open, and basically you and your baby could die. So they already wanted to induce me, but having COVID, they kind of are like, I found out, so I didn't know why they wanted to induce me with her. I found out this time around because I asked why they induce if you get COVID, even if you get COVID really early in the pregnancy. Basically, after 39 weeks when you're pregnant, and you get COVID, after 39 weeks of being pregnant, you have a good, basically your placenta has a good chance of stop working, and then you would have a stillborn baby, because there would be no signs to tell you if your placenta stopped working. The only thing would obviously be like baby's movement that would cue you in, like, oh, baby hasn't moved and whatever. But yeah, you have a higher chance of losing your baby if you have COVID when you're pregnant. So that's why they induce you at 39 weeks, I guess. So they still kind of want to induce me, or they do want to induce me. Honestly, they're gonna do a test or question, I don't know. They're gonna do something to see if I even qualify to do a VBAC, because if they don't, technically I won't need to get induced then, because I won't be able to have my baby vaginally, so then I'll just set up a C-section date. I don't want to get induced again. I had a terrible experience with being induced. For starters, I wasn't even kind of in labor. So when they tried to force labor on me, my body was like, nope. So definitely do not want to be induced again this time. And they also didn't tell me, because I was not aware. When you get induced, both as a first-time mom and two, when you're just getting induced in general, gives you a higher chance of getting a C-section. Nobody told me that. So I wasn't even slightly prepared for the chance that I would have a C-section, which I wish somebody would have told me that, because yeah, I still would have gotten induced because I needed to be. But I would have prepared for a C-section too, because both my mom and my sister had a C-section. I was a C-section baby, and my sister had her second via C-section too, which I figured I would eventually get one, since both they did. I know that that's not how it works, but I figured it would be with my second baby that I would get a C-section, and that I would get to have the first one naturally, like both my mom and sister did. This mascara isn't doing nothing. It's like dry. Time to pull out the backup. So, yeah. So I got my C-section. One thing I am gonna do this time, since last time I only prepared for a vaginal birth, is I still have all that stuff because I didn't use it because I had a C-section. So I think this time I'm gonna prepare for a C-section too. Like, and when I say prepare for a C-section, like, they have things to cover your incision so it doesn't rub on stuff. I'm probably gonna get some of those because that sucked. I'm gonna get the low-rise underwear, like the V ones, like the pregnancy type of underwear, because that's another thing that really sucked after my C-section, is wearing anything, especially, well, in general, anything touching it hurt, but having like regular underwear, because that's where your underwear line is, sits right there and it hurts. So it was uncomfortable. And then obviously you could wear baggy clothes, so that wasn't a big problem, but wearing the regular underwear was the worst because it hurt my incisions so badly. I'd have to like fold my underwear down so that way it wouldn't touch my incision. Sorry, my eyelashes are like sticking to my damn eyelid. There. And I got some on my eyelid. It's fine. I know how to fix that. So yeah, that's how that went. That's my story time and a little bit of backstory into my C-section and all that fun stuff. I'm sorry, I know I kind of rambled. Like I said, pregnancy brain, mom brain, all of that has just been, it's like hearing this in the background, watching her out of the corner of my eye, trying to remember what's next to my makeup, and just everything and then trying to remember that whole thing. I should have made the story time either as it was happening, or you guys wouldn't have been able to understand me though, because I sounded horrific and could barely talk. So you guys wouldn't have understood a word I said anyways, but at least then you guys would have known, like, as it was happening. Well, kind of as it was happening, you know. I kind of sounded like this. This is kind of how I sounded. Like, it already went away, but that little voice, whatever. But my makeup is all done. Put all this stuff away. And now we get to do my hair. I'm going to change my clothes first though, so I'll be back. Okay. Here's the outfit and... Alright, well now that I got changed, I'll show you guys what I mean. So you see my incision right there? So if I put my underwear up, that is perfectly where it lays. But yeah, little baby bump date. And my cute shirt that I got. But yeah, so that is how my bump, incision, whatever looks. So yeah, thought I'd give you guys a quick little look at that. I don't remember which one I used. I think I used this one. Get rid of the eyeshadow. Or not the eyeshadow, that dark line. That brush is too big. We'll use this one. Ah, there we go. Look, you can't even see it now. I know now I have eyeshadow on my eyelashes, but I'll fix that too. There. All better.
Miss Rachel?
Alright. My nose. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do this one. This whole video probably might get copyrighted because Miss Rachel, but...
Look what I found. There's so many of them here. It's a tree. A tree.
I'm gonna hope if I put the video link to this video down below that maybe I won't get copyrighted.
Spiderweb and a bug. Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear my daughter all laughing in the background like the cutie pie she is. Okay, so why is my hair doing this? My hair like dried weird, so now it doesn't want to part. All right. Tie this side, and we are going to attempt to do this. Let me do one thing real quick though. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. She is so intrigued at this video. She's all... Alright, I'm gonna try something with my hair because I haven't really been doing my hair often. Well, ever since it got cut, I decided, okay, I'm gonna let it be healthy now instead of anything else. I'm gonna just let my hair be healthy. So I haven't been curling it. I haven't been doing any of that to it. We curled it for my birthday, but that's the first time since I cut it back when I first had my daughter. And it is. I mean, I hated having my hair cut, you know. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad because my hair is so much healthier and thicker than it was when it was long. Like, yeah, it sucks because I look back at, like, right after I had my daughter and seeing how long that hair was. But now I'm like, it's fine now because it's going to be healthy. And when it grows out long this time, it'll be thick and not like dull hair. And it'll be pretty.
You're having so much fun in the bath.
So, I think it'll be worth it.
Ooh, that's fun. I gotta try that.
So.
Okay, now it's time to rinse you off. I'm scared. I don't want to be rinsed off. Oh, don't worry. It's not scary. I'm gonna put my hand right here so I don't get any soap in your eyes. See? Okay. That feels
Still one of my
good.
daughter's
Yeah. It's not
dresses. I
scary.
think I'm gonna put her in
That's
blue so I
really
can put
fun.
that on her.
The cars are having fun in the water, but it's time to get out. I got a towel to dry off the cars, and then we'll put them to bed. Taking the cars out.
I just saw this on TikTok. That's why I wanted to try it.
They're all done the
Because I know that my hair is getting longer, but
now it's time for the cars to go to sleep. They're so tired. Good night,
it's also
cars.
like,
I'm gonna give them a
I
blanket.
don't know,
Good night, cars. Good
still
night,
dead.
Cars. Good night, cars. Good night, cars. I hope you have a good dream. Woof! What's that sound?
This might not look as cute
What animal
because she
makes that
had,
sound?
the girl in the video who I saw
You're
do this,
behind a dog.
had like blondish,
Hi, it's
it was,
our friend
her hair
Bingo.
was like with
Bingo,
blonde
what's wrong? You look
highlights in it.
sad.
I'm sad because
And it
I
looked
forgot how
really,
to spell
really
my
pretty
name.
on her, but
Aw. We can help you. Do you guys at home think you
bruh,
can
that
help
ain't
Bingo
doing
remember how to
nothing
spell
for my
his
hair.
name?
Can you help?
Yeah, I bet if we sing the song Bingo, you'll remember.
Okay.
She done lied. That does not look cute like it did on her. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe it's because I need to put the hair tie on top now. See if that's
This
why.
time, let's clap for the bee. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh,
Get that one up for my daughter. Okay. I'll do these ones.
Was his name. Oh, now we clap for the B and the I. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, now for the B-I-N. You ready? There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O,
I don't like it. I might as well just do it like this.
Bingo was his name. Oh, now for the B-I-N-G. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh,
Ooh,
oh,
what are you doing?
oh,
She's
oh,
so
and
funny.
Bingo was his name.
She's just laying there.
Now we're gonna do it for all the letters. It's gonna be so tricky. Do you think you can do it? I know you can. There was a farmer.
Are you tired of this already?
Bingo was his name. Oh,
Kinda hoping so because I'm tired of listening to it. Like, I love Miss Rachel. And I like how she teaches a lot, but I'm like, to listen to that all day, every day, is too much. It's too much for me. Like I said, I like Miss Rachel a lot. And I like that she teaches my daughter a lot. But hearing all those songs on repeat every single day, you do get a little tired of hearing them. Maybe that hair thing didn't work out for me because my hair is too long. Because the whole point of that hair thing I just tried to do was to hide the little baby pieces that fall out in the back. But my hair is finally long enough that I don't have that problem. So maybe that's why it looked stupid on me. There. I think that looks okay. I really don't know though. I love how pretty my hair is starting to look though. Here's the difficult part, little princess. Trying to make it look even, huh? She's jumping on the bed. She grabs the sides of the crib and she jumps up and down until I pick her up. Does anyone else have the problem of where like they could French braid one side of their hair, but they can't for the life of them French braid the other side? Like, is it just me or what the heck? Like, even if the other side comes out okay, to get this side to also come out okay never really works out for me. Let's see. Where do I have the hair tie? Like right here? Like right there. I don't think that worked out. Okay, let's. This is what this side looks like. And this is what this side looks like. So far, I don't hate it from the way it looks in the front, but let's see. Also, I need to clean my glasses. I can't see because my glasses are dirty. I don't like that. That might just bug me enough to do it over again. Let's see. Yeah, it looks about the same except for this piece right here that's popping up, but I'm not even gonna worry about that. I am not even going to worry. I'm just gonna reset back up everything the way I had it. So, push my vanity light back. I'm gonna need this stuff. Put this in here. I'm gonna take one of these right away. When you have morning sickness the whole pregnancy, even when it's not morning, you take Zofran or whatever off-brand they gave me this time. I don't know. Originally they started with Zofran and now I'm on something else. I don't know what it's called. What are you doing? Peekaboo! Alrighty, so I had to change because after I finished getting ready, I realized it started to rain. I also had to change what I was going to put her in, so I'm just going to show you. This was what I was going to put her in. It's this little white whatever, and this little dress overalls. But yeah, now that it's raining, I changed into some pants and I put her in pants too. That way she doesn't get cold or sick or anything like that. I'm so bad at doing hair, especially on her. This is the same thing I do because this is the easiest to do, especially because she hates having her hair brushed. Look how beautiful her little baby bangs. And to top it off, cute little blue bow. Aw, cutest baby ever. Cutest baby ever. Okay, and then I'll pack her a bib. Her little glasses broke. So, alright. Well, that's our outfit of the day. I changed into some black maternity leggings. And this is what she's wearing. She's wearing some little jeans, little white onesie, some little pink socks with some grippies, and her little blue bow, and her pacifier. Her favoritist one. Look, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but she doesn't even like sucking on the pacifier anymore. She chews it. And yeah, sometimes she'll suck on it, but for the most part, like, I don't know. When she gets like halfway through, because she's not halfway through yet, but when she gets halfway through, I'm going to throw this one away because I don't want her to bite it all the way off and then choke on it. So, for now, that's what we'll do. And I'm going to clip this right there. I love you, my little baby. Okay, and we're out. Bye. She's waving with the brush.